Let's roll over into this. Me and Mr. Aqua wanted to touch on the Senate hearing that took place on DeFi, because this honestly marks a moment in history. We're seeing high-end representatives in congressional hearings on these topics. This is, I mean, solidifies that DeFi is not going away. It is going to get regulated to a certain degree, which we have to be prepared for, right? As early adopters of any technological advancement, we have to understand that there is risk, and that's why we talk about mitigating risk in the Wealth 28 Club, okay? But look at what they're mentioning. This is posted from Cointelegraph just yesterday, September 11th. The Future of Finance, unpacking the first, again, I repeat, the first congressional hearing on DeFi. What were me and Mr. Aqua telling you guys a couple months ago? Don't fade DeFi. Don't sleep on DeFi. And we're continuously seeing it materialize right before our very eyes. And there's still naysayers out there, literally when Congress is telling you this. So this is my first time watching the portion of this particular video clip. I'm going to pause it as I hear things that spark my interest to talk about. But I can already assume that this is going to be super bullish for the industry long term, particularly focusing our attention on DeFi and reminding you all that there was just a report put out by Pyth Network that DeFi is going to be worth $10 trillion by 2030. The Algorand CEO just mentioned hundreds of millions of dollars, right? And she particularly mentioned earning yield. That's going to be through the utilization of DeFi. Put two and two together, people. Come on now. So let's play this. Mr. Aqua, if you want me to pause it, if you have anything to say, just wave your hand and I'll pause it as we go through. If not, I'll pause when I see something come up. This is going to be a 3-minute long video clip. So let's just take a second and let's listen to what this individual representative had to say about DeFi today.
And staff to Capitol Hill following our August work period. Today we're going to discuss decentralized finance. After the FIT 21 legislation passed with broad bipartisan support, I wanted this subcommittee to explore emerging topics like tokenization and DeFi. As we consider how blockchains can be used in finance, we must continue expanding our knowledge of the possible costs and benefits as it relates to DeFi. Decentralized finance envisions a financial system that's permissionless, transparent, efficient, and built on top of blockchain networks. It's based on the fundamental idea that individuals should have the freedom to transact without the fear of illegal financial surveillance or abuse by governments. By substituting intermediaries for autonomous, self-executing code, decentralized finance can shift the way the financial markets and transactions are currently structured and governed. A peer-to-peer future where a Canadian prime minister in the future can't freeze your bank account just for going to a protest. But whether it's artificial intelligence...
I'm going to pause it right there, okay? What he's talking about is so powerful. This literally is taking the financial power out of the hands of the centralized intermediaries. Again, to some degree, they're still going to be involved massively. You can't knock that. But that is why they're stalling this adoption. That is why governments are so fearful of DeFi. That is why they don't want you involved. As a citizen, if you enjoy your freedom, again, freedom, I'll say that lightly to the extent that we have it, right, in our own minds. But if you are an individual that likes personalized freedom, DeFi should interest you, right? DeFi should interest you because it puts the power, your financial freedom, back into your own hands. You're not relying on a bank to pay you 0.005 or 0.5 interest rates anymore, right? You can actually take the income that you're earning, like these representatives have told you, and you can start earning on them, even if it's $1 a day, even if it's $1 per month. It's 10 times more than any traditional account has ever given you your entire life. And that is life-changing. And that is why they don't want this. That is why the Biden administration came down hard attacking crypto. Okay. That is why governments all around the world started attacking crypto, was because of this primary factor. But then they realized that they're not going to be able to put the cat back in the bag. That instead they're going to have to catch up with the innovative technology and use it themselves, which now they are, for a fact. So I thought that I'd touch on that. That's the first part. So we're about a minute in. We got about 3 minutes left.
Intelligence or digital assets, we cannot legislate thoughtfully or do oversight of the regulatory agencies if we don't understand it. And DeFi is not only complex, but cutting edge, changing, and a completely different way of working. But at the end of the day, decentralized finance is not a person or a company, it's a technology, and one that connects people together to reimagine how we transact with one another. So today's hearing is designed to take a deep dive into some core concepts behind DeFi. I'd like members on both sides of the aisle to approach it with an open mind. We'll hear from our witnesses about this technology, how it works, the potential benefits and risks, the legal and regulatory implications. It's important to remember that our regulatory and legal frameworks were designed for a financial system with centralized intermediaries. It doesn't contemplate the decentralized peer-to-peer ecosystem made possible with digital assets and blockchains. That's why jurisdictions like the European Union have chosen to explicitly carve out DeFi in their digital asset legislation so they can continue to better understand it. Right.
I see Mr. Aqua nodding his head, so I'll share the floor with him real quick and let him talk. But guys and gals, what is he talking about? Understanding DeFi, right? At a minimum, you should be attempting to do the same thing. Educating yourself on DeFi. You don't have to go and deploy. I get it. People are still skeptical. Maybe you do want to hodl your assets, but when you become wealthy in the next crypto bull market cycle, you do not want to be the type of person that does not know how to not earn yield on your assets.
Yeah, or pull a loan against your assets too. You know, like DeFi gives you the ability to pull a loan out against your XRP. I mean, and what you do with that is your choice. I mean, you know, there's so many strategies that you can implement. Being your own bank is not just buying these digital assets and then putting it on cold storage. Like the reason why, you know, these institutions are wanting to come into crypto, it's not because they want to buy these digital assets and put it on their own cold storage. No, they want to earn yield in this DeFi environment or this ecosystem and technology. And all of the blockchains have some sort of DeFi options. Just go and look for yourself. Like this is not just one particular company that's running DeFi. No, this is all of the blockchains pretty much. So, you know.
Yeah, I'm going to play a video clip. I'm going to find it as we continue with the rest of this. But just to touch on what Mr. Aqua said, so you don't think he's making this up, that these financial institutions have openly admitted on stage that they want to earn yield. I'm going to play a video clip after I find it. So let's continue the rest of this. But yeah, I completely agree with you, man. Let's check this. And we got about another minute and a half left of this. But this is gems. And keep in mind, what we're playing for you guys, if you head over to the YouTube on Forbes, this particular video that we're looking at right now only has 300 views, 363 views. That's insane. That's how you know you're at the forefront. You're already in the small percentage of the population that is involved in crypto. And then in the DeFi ecosystem, there's only 5 to 10 million active crypto users. So then you're in crypto, which is the 1% of the population. And then if you're in DeFi, or if you're educating yourself about DeFi, you're in the 1% of the 1%. Okay. So let's tap in and let's listen to the rest of this. And then I'll play up that video clip of the large organizations openly admitting that they want to earn yield.
Thankfully, we took the same approach in drafting our FIT 21 legislation here in the House, which directed the Treasury, the SEC, and the CFTC to study this issue together and report back to Congress on the implications and their recommendations. Contrast that with the Biden-Harris administration, which uses rulemaking and enforcement actions to go after DeFi and threaten its existence and the future of its use in the United States. Now that this committee has moved with our historic bipartisan FIT 21 legislation, it's important that together we assess DeFi and study the most effective way forward. This hearing is not just about smart contracts and decentralized protocols. It's about how decentralized peer-to-peer technology can preserve individual freedom and improve our financial services for business and consumers alike. Together, we'll take another step in our work on the regulatory landscape that supports transformative technology. I encourage everyone on the subcommittee to engage in an informed, open-minded dialogue with our esteemed witnesses today to better understand how.
All right, so that's pretty much it, right? So just in a nutshell, what I gathered from that is that at the end of the day, you know, This is the type of stuff. Think about just being in America. I know that a lot of my listeners are not American, but just think about this from an American's perspective, because I obviously, of course, have lived in America my entire life. I go out in public every now and then, and I will go to the grocery store, I'll go to a shopping mall or location, and I look around. And when I watch videos like this, the only thing that I can think about is how many people have never and will never see this video, walking around, buying their groceries, paying their bills, suffering. Just go look at the statistics. It's like right now said that 65% of Americans don't even have $1,000 saved for an emergency expense. Yet here you have congressional leaders telling you all that they're educating themselves on DeFi, right? So where's the gap? The gap is the lack of education. Close that gap and educate yourself. You see what I'm saying? It literally breaks my heart when I'm out in public and I see people saying they can't afford stuff, that groceries are too expensive, right? When I'm literally earning enough passive income through DeFi to cover somebody's rent right now, you know? So like it breaks my heart because I see, and I know you guys see it too. I know you do. You'll be on Twitter and you see people complaining about inflation, complaining about gas prices, complaining that apples are $7 per apple, when in reality, the elites, right, are literally giving you an answer to the problems that they've created. And it's through well, I can't say the elites, but private organizations, right? Blockchain native companies and organizations, the people that built out the crypto infrastructure and they're giving you an answer, a solution that we can participate in now. But again, just like traditional finance, the reason why most people are not successful is because they lack education. Most people don't have retirement accounts. Most people will work for 25 to 40 years just to retire broke, and it is because they lack financial literacy. Don't come into this new digital realm uneducated. That is literally the dumbest approach that you could take. I mean, honest to God, right? At a minimum, get educated. So just to back what Mr. Akko was saying, and I'll let him touch on this real quick. This is going to be a video clip of individual representatives on stage, and I want to point out who is on stage. We have an individual representative from Zodia Custody. He is the Chief Executive Officer. And then we have a individual CIO of NASDAQ, Zay Capital Markets. And they're talking about earning yield. Keep in mind that Zodia Custody is owned or backed by Standard Chartered and other major financial institutions. Okay. Listen to what they're talking about here. And this is only from 4 months ago and has 131 views, just to show you guys that yet again, nobody's paying attention to this stuff.
From your perspective, when we're speaking about pension funds, it's all about yield for them because that's what they are very much geared for. Now, when we are in the custody business, in the normal custody business, there isn't very much of a yield, especially if you are under real estate assets. Just like from the custody perspective, you don't get a yield out of the custody. But over here, there are certain ways to get yield, but when you park them. Where do you see that market growing? The fact that we've seen some massive blow-ups within this particular space. How is the confidence coming back? Where institutions, high net worth individuals, they can come, they can park your assets with yourselves, and then look for a yield in relation to that.
Boom. He literally just said, how can high net worth individuals come, park their assets? High net worth individuals, again, come and park their assets to earn yield. These mother truckers want to earn yield, people. Can you imagine if you were a high net worth individual and you have $100 million plus and you know that you can earn 10%, 15%, 20% on that $100 million, you are for a fact going to want to know how to deploy into these new realms when traditional finance is only giving you 5%. And notice how at the beginning he mentioned pension funds. Pension funds. Keep that in mind in all caps. I want you all to just remember that that's what he said. Okay. I'm going to play this one last video clip and then I'm going to roll it over to Mr. Aqua, something that he found from the committee hearing. And since we're on the topic of pension funds and earning yield, do you guys remember a video clip that I shared with you all of Paul Brody, the global blockchain leader at EY? Check this out. This is where pension funds and earning yield is going to come into play. This is from 4 months ago. Paul Brody, 399 views. Listen to what he says about pension funds and listen to what he says about, I don't know if we're going to get to the pension funds part, but just listen to how much money he says is about to come into crypto. And then I'm going to play another video clip from him where he talks about the thing that's going to enable, at least from his perspective, this money to flood back into crypto is going to be DeFi. And then I'll pass it over to Mr. Aqua. He has a video clip he wants to play for you guys.
Now, is it worth anything? Yes, right. This part of the conversation is called the Great Liquidity Reservoir, and I am going to struggle to convey just how much capital there is behind this regulatory dam, because the numbers are just monumental, right? How much money is there? Well, let's start with the most liquid of the liquid, right? Bank deposits, stocks, and bonds. $400 trillion. Right? Certainly more than my current retirement nest egg, and plenty of money to buy you a nice place in central London or San Francisco. Right? 400 trillion. There's another 379 trillion in real estate. Right? Gold is 13 trillion by itself. And then you get to the entire crypto ecosystem is like 2.5 trillion. Right? I'm not going to say all of this money is going into crypto, but quite a lot of it will end up in crypto, and a huge amount of it is going to end up in tokenized digital assets, right? Not because it's...
Okay, now just understand that's not coming from some YouTube influencer. That's not coming from CYPRX. That is coming from EY, who is one of the major top 4 consulting firms in the world, from their global blockchain lead. You would think that he's probably sitting in on regulatory meetings. He's meeting with financial institutions, and he knows how much money is behind the scenes and how much money is coming. And he talks about the Great Liquidity Reservoir, that after regulations come into play, there's going to be so much money that floods in. And for all those who are skeptical about DeFi, because it's an unregulated space, which is weird because so is crypto and so is AI, but you see people investing in crypto and AI all the time, right? Listen to what he says here. We'll skip to about 14 minutes and about 15 seconds, where he says what he thinks is going to spark a lot of this money back into crypto is going to be through DeFi. Take a second and let's listen to this one.
Long cycle, but big shifts do happen over time, and technology and the product is available. So I think there will be a couple of knock-on effects as we go forward. And the first is that although crypto is having a great year, there's a couple of things I would expect to have happen. Number one, DeFi. So DeFi is a little bit down, right? But I think it's coming back, and I'll talk a little bit about that. And then the other is industrial applications. So let me start with decentralized finance, right? As I said before, right now the regulations are somewhat quiet, right? You can buy crypto, you can buy digital assets, you can buy stable coins. We're not so clear on what the rules of the road are for doing stuff with them. But the value proposition, right, for DeFi is there. It's all about sweating incremental value from your existing assets, right? So you can borrow against assets with, these are pretty typical DeFi activities: borrow against assets, fractionalize assets, manage the cash flows using smart contracts, right? But in theory, as we add...
Hold on. Manage your cash flow using smart contracts. People, he just literally in a nutshell, in a very smart way, mentioned earning yield. Okay, come on now.
More stuff into this pool, people will come back to those use cases, right? Obviously, DeFi hasn't recovered. If you look at the total money inside of DeFi, it really hasn't come back to its peak. I believe my theory for that is just my theory. My theory for that is that one of the reasons is we are in a period of higher interest rates, right? So why take the risk of putting something in DeFi, because it's still relatively more risky, when you can get 5% or 6% in a traditional bank account? I personally, my own forecast is that that is not a situation that's likely to last, right? Central bankers have promised us interest rates will come down, right? But I think in general, I probably do not agree with people who say that low interest rates, like 0 and negative interest rates, were a temporary phenomenon, right? And my favorite example of this is this fantastic chart from the Bank of England. It's interest rates over the last 700 years, right? You cannot accuse me of not having a strategic long-term point of view, right? And this is also the chart I show our leadership when they ask, when are we getting a return from our investment in blockchain? That's actually not true. If I showed this chart, I'd be doing this pitch out on the grass outside. But what I would argue based on this data is that there are good reasons to think that zero interest rates or even negative interest rates are going to become the norm in the near future. And I think it has to do, and this is my techno optimism, I think it has to do with the fact that we are eventually going to become a post-scarcity society.
Listen to what he says.
We're already post-scarcity in a number of ways that we don't really like. There's an unlimited amount of scrollable video out there, right? I know this because my children are attempting to get to the end of TikTok. They haven't succeeded yet. But I think, as interest rates do eventually come back down, the search for yield is going to go back into overdrive. And then I think,
boom, what did he just say? The search for yield is going to go back in overdrive. This entire video breakdown, what have we been showing you guys? What did Mr. Aqua just say to you guys? That these financial institutions want yield, right? I can't, man. Well, I'm dropping gems for you guys, freaking straight cooking, So I see Mr. Aqua nodding his head. I'll pass the stick over to him. I know that he wanted to play this video clip. Before I roll over real fast, shout out to everybody that's on the call. Really do appreciate you guys for tapping in. As always, just trying to drop gems and wake people up. I personally don't like to see people suffer, which is why I even created the CYPRX community in the first place, because back in the early days of my investing and trading career, I suffered. I suffered from a lack of foundation and educational principles to guide me in the right direction. So once I became profitable, I created a community that steered people in the right direction to get valuable information. And people in our private community are. If you want that value, it's there for you. Head over to CYPRXtrading.com, ladies and gentlemen. We'd love to have you on the team. Such motivation happening every single day. Such great, good information, valuable information. Never steering you guys in the wrong direction in the sense of giving you bullish moon boy hopium targets and all this bull crap that just is just so dopamine like fixated, right? Screw all that. Now's the time for education. Just to reiterate back to what Paul Brody said about trillions of dollars coming in, and multiple other speakers in today's call. Remember, they're predicting $10 trillion by 2030. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that that's going to happen, but if you just go look at the TVL locked in the DeFi ecosystem right now, even if we scaled up to $1 trillion, $2 trillion, and we just lowballed that $10 trillion prediction, that's still massive growth between now and 2030, even if we just hit 1 trillion compared to where we're at right now in the DeFi ecosystem, probably hovering at like, I don't know, maybe 80 to 70 billion, maybe not even that, right? Off the top of my head. So, Mr. Aqua, go ahead. You've been shaking your head. I know I've been cooking and rapping for a while. So
no, you're good. Didn't David Schwartz, didn't he give his prediction on stage at the Xrpl Apex? What did he say? 16 trillion by 2030?
So yeah, something like that, man.
But they're all like on the same path and giving kind of similar predictions. You know what I mean? So just to touch on, the potential that we have in DeFi, let me just share from the congressional meeting on September 10th. Hold on one second. This was like the only snippet I wanted to share too, by the way. So hold on. So she's going to talk about pretty much what the ecosystem is looking like right now. So it's like a short clip here. So just tap in.
Another, provide crypto asset liquidity for borrowing, or engage in novel trading strategies. Yet DeFi remains nascent. The first DeFi protocol is approximately 7 years old, and today DeFi holds around $78.9 billion of crypto asset value. This is only 3.9% of total crypto value and 0.07% of global GDP.
So y'all hear the potential that we have then, and this is the reason why if you think DeFi is a scam or you're just making assumptions about DeFi, it's because there are very few people looking right at DeFi, and a majority of the masses that are in crypto are looking left, which is HODL. What's the latest news on the SEC case? This, that, and the other thing, dopamine rushes like you were just talking about, but very few again are looking to the right where DeFi is. And she just told us what is in DeFi right now and the potential that is going to come into this ecosystem. It's going to be massive. And we're at the forefront. We're like, me and you are true pioneers in this DeFi space. I'll proudly say that.
Yeah, 100%, 110%, bro. We've been trying to wake people up. Even in the XRP community, man, when the AMM feature dropped back in March, we were the first people telling people about how David Schwartz at XRP Las Vegas was literally telling all them fools that y'all can go and deploy. in DeFi, bro, and everybody was just sitting in the stage because they look at David Schwartz as he's like some what is the celebrity figure, you know? Dude, if I was in the stage at XRP Las Vegas, I'd have been like, hello, David Schwartz, run that back real quick, bro. Did you just confirm that we can take our XRP and earn yield on it? Okay. Can you just, like nobody asked that question. Nobody asks questions. Everybody's just always trying to be fed the information that's going to take them to new all-time highs. Bro, stop worrying about that. Like this is a perfect example of missed opportunities. How many articles this year as an XRP holder have you read about XRP going back above $1? I guarantee you if I go search right now, there's probably some mainstream article saying that XRP is going to go to $1 because of this grayscale news. Guarantee you. Prove me wrong. Go prove me wrong right now. You could probably go look this up, right? Well, what did I just show you guys? At the same exact time that Grayscale announced the XRP trust, they also announced a soy trust. And soy this year went from 50 cents and it's now hovering above $1. So there are opportunities in this space. I'm not telling you guys go sell all your XRP for soy. Heck no. I have a fat bag of XRP. I'll probably never sell it ever. Honest to God. Because during the next bull market cycle, if we see $10 XRP, $20 XRP, I'm going to take that XRP, deploy it into liquidity pools and earn yield. Never having to sell my XRP, earning yield on my $10 XRP. Straight up.
Absolute facts, brother. Myself included. I'll be right side by side with you.
So, I'm just saying, you guys and gals, branch out. These mainstream influencers, vast majority of them, they're so fixated on previous market cycles, which have been extremely bullish. Don't misrepresent what I'm trying to say, but they're so fixated on past developments and unfolding events that they're not fixated on what's actually happening and unfolding. And DeFi is one of the most massive opportunities that in the now as retail investors, we have the ability to capitalize on to grow our wealth. Let's say, for example, you are only earning $3,000 to $4,000 per month and your monthly expenses are $2,000, right? If you were to deploy into DeFi, again, this is if and it's not financial advice. If you were to deploy $2,000 to $3,000, which on my test account is right now sitting in VFAT, right now on VFAT, I'm making over $700 to $900 per month with just $3,000 deployed on the platform. And every single month I take that and I buy the assets that I want to add to my blue chip bags. For example, I can sell my base coins because I get paid out in USDC on base. I can sell it to Coinbase for XLM. I can take that XLM and I can send it to Uphold and I can buy XRP every single month. That's what I've been doing the entirety of the year. I have not put one single drop of the actual income that I earn into crypto. It's all just been DeFi profits, digital assets working for me, growing my long-term bags and expanding my wealth. And we've been trying to wake people up. You can see the developments. We're not making this stuff up. I mean, again, the people that want to tap in, you guys will tap in, teach his own. Real recognizes real,
Super real, brother. I mean, and to just kind of speak to all the XRP holders that are tapped in with us right now. There's these rumors that we're hearing that there's relationships with Ripple and Bank of America and Ripple and JP Morgan. Look, those relationships, go listen to what Monica Long had said. These are DeFi relationships because, again, these institutions want to earn yield. So these institutions that are going to rock with Ripple eventually, and when they eventually, give us this news, if it does come, hopefully, right? That's what that relationship is basically all about. It's DeFi. So just tap into DeFi because that's when your whole world is going to open up even more again. Just like how you woke up to crypto and you're like, oh my God, what is this? Wait until you understand DeFi and you're going to have a way better grasp of what crypto is and this whole ecosystem and what the future could potentially look like. So,
yeah, just to touch on what you're saying, I actually played a video clip on, I don't remember what platform was on, block something. It's like a podcast that Monica Long and David Schwartz did together. And what Monica Long was specifically talking about is the RLUSD stablecoin working alongside the digital asset XRP to help scale the institutional DeFi ecosystem. Word for word, that's what she said, And a lot of people don't understand that because they've been so fixated on XRP being the cross-border settlement god currency of the world, whatever, right? That all aside, if you just fixate your attention on the DeFi ecosystem that the XRPL is bringing over the next bull market cycle, that alone is so bullish. You can go look at the TVL locked on the XRPL right now. Just imagine if the TVL locked on Ethereum came to the XRPL, the amount of demand that alone would create for the digital asset XRP. And that's not even touching 500 billion or $1 trillion. That's only like what, 60 some odd billion or maybe $50 billion to come on chain. And that's coming 110% through DeFi alone. So, you know, massive developments. Anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video breakdown. No fluff, no hopium, just showing you guys that there are for a fact ongoing developments unfolding at a rapid pace. And we're attempting to wake people up, to educate you all, to really get you to see that now is the time to get educated. It might not be the time for you to deploy. Maybe you don't have the extra income to risk, and maybe you don't want to deploy your blue chip digital assets because you're still a little fearful. That's okay. But what's not okay is if you push away education. That makes no sense. I mentioned to you guys before, the reason why a lot of people don't succeed financially is because they don't focus on educating themselves about investing or credit or debt or how to leverage their money, their cash, their fiat as an asset. And instead, they make their money a liability. You don't want to have your money as a liability. You want it to be an asset, and you want it to be generating you more money. That's the power of money. Is money can generate you more money, but you have to know how to do it, right? Through proper risk management, through a mature educational approach, which is why we created the Wealth 28 Club, to show you guys how we are on the front line with thousands of dollars. I know Mr. Aqua has thousands of dollars deployed on DeFi. I myself have thousands of dollars deployed on DeFi. I'm not sitting here screaming, oh, I got millions deployed. No, but I'm physically showing our community how every single month we are earning passive income. It's up to you to decide whether or not you want to deploy, but you then at least have that education. So that way, during the next bull market cycle, you don't have to sell your utility assets that you've been working so hard to accumulate back into the traditional system, sell it for fiat to then eventually get wrecked long-term. Makes no sense to me. I think one of the biggest takeaways from today's call was when Mr. Aqua talked about passing your digital assets over to your children. I'm just going to talk about my long-term plan. Maybe I'll sell some for fiat and buy myself something nice because I've been involved in crypto since 2017. Again, it'll be a very small portion of my portfolio, maybe 10 or 20%, right? But the largest portion of my portfolio will be held in digital assets. I will take those assets, deploy them onto DeFi protocols, and there's going to be insurance for DeFi protocols and all that stuff in the future, okay? And I will take the income that I'm earning from my digital assets, and I will pass my digital asset portfolio over to my kids. So that way I'm still earning from my passive income, and my kids still have the wealth that was created from the digital assets. And that's monumental, you know? That's monumental. I'm not accumulating all these assets now for myself. I'm accumulating these assets so that way I can get paid passive income later on when the trillions of dollars come in, and these assets like XRP or Soy or XLM or XDC are way worth more than $1, you know, and I'm making that passive income on them. So I really like the takeaway, Mr. Aqua.
You know, I'll say this too. This is just my opinion, that I'm saying here. I think DeFi and these digital assets are the new real estate in the future. Real estate is it's dying slowly. We see Elon Musk coming out with these tiny houses. And if more and more people, in the future are wearing these Apple goggles and in the metaverse, what is a house at that point? You know what I mean? So like real estate, who knows what the future holds, but I think digital assets are the new gold type of real estate for the future because, through DeFi, you know what I mean? So,
I mean, physical real estate itself is being tokenized. Where like right now through DeFi, we have if you go look at Block Square, go look at Ocean Point, go look at what they're doing with the BCT token. You literally have the ability right now as a real estate investor to tokenize your property, and people can invest in very small slivers in shares of your tokenized property, and you can be generating passive income through that. That's monumental. the real estate market is one of the biggest markets, if not the biggest financial market in the world, I believe. I'm not mistaken. I just don't know the statistics off the top of my head, but it's well over $300 trillion. I know that for a fact. And a very large portion, I can't confirm that all 300 trillion is going to be tokenized, maybe 20, 30, 40 years from now. But over the next 5 to 10 years, between now and 2030, a very, very, very large portion, hundreds of billions of dollars in tokenized real estate is coming on chain. And it's coming to DeFi system, real world asset tokens. I mean, like, you just come on now, people. You gotta. It's so crazy to me, bro. It really is crazy to me that people are sleeping on this. I will like literally try. You know, it's crazy. My family knows how much money I make, and I'll tell my family about this stuff, and they'll still think I'm crazy, even though they know how much money I make per year. It's mind blowing. That's how manipulated the minds of the masses are. That they're so intrinsically attached to the old way of doing things that when something new comes about, they gravitate towards the old way of doing things because they're comfortable doing it. They don't want to break out because this new way is uncomfortable, but it provides so much more opportunity. When you fixate on the opportunity that the new system creates and break out of the comfort zone, it starts to become comfortable. And that is why we created Wealth 28, for you to break out of that comfort zone, for you to make this new way of earning comfortable so you can learn. And so you can stop being so fixated on the old way of doing things. Because, man, let me tell you what, everybody that's not about to transition into this digital system low key, dude, is about to suffer drastically.
Yeah.
They're going to be living off universal basic income, bro. Can you imagine when the elites really flip the switch to these CBDCs and digital identities, and the economies all around the globe really go to crap, and people still think that earning even $5,000, $10,000 a month is real money? Oh my gosh.
They're going to be cooked. They're about to be cooked. I mean, but not us here at Club 28. You know, I'm running a Zoom call a little bit later on today for the private members, and it's going to be a new strategy on how to really, you know, just gain in concentrated liquidity pools. But these are the types of conversations that we're having inside our community, and what's going to make us ahead of the herd mentality. Like, break out of that herd mentality. Start looking right. Like I was saying, look right. Don't look left where everybody else is at. That's where all the FUD, that's where the psyops are at. That's where all the bullshit is at. When you start going and looking for yourself and doing the research yourself and tapping in with real people like myself and Cypress that are not giving you moon boy predictions, and we're actually giving you straight sauce. Like this man, Cypress, the seasoning he puts in his sauce is unreal, bro. This sauce is delicious. But like, yo, like, you know, tap in with us. I hope to see all 700 plus of you guys inside Club 28. I mean, the information is gold. So yeah, man.
Yeah, good call today, brother. I appreciate you for tapping in with me, man. I'm definitely looking forward to coming back out to Cali and kicking it. As always, everybody, really do appreciate the love and the support for coming out. If you're one of my followers, go tap into Mr. Aqua's accounts. He's got X and he's got YouTube, and he's been dropping freaking gems, trying to get you guys to really understand the superiority of Bitcoin and why it's so powerful and why it's not going away in the near future. You know, don't be so distorted on, oh, it's going to get replaced and all this crap. Really understand what's happening, how you can utilize all these digital assets to your benefit, especially the blue chips. I mean, I can't stress enough. Now is the time to, at least at a minimum, get educated. Many blessings to you guys. With that being said, we'll see you all on the next live call. I don't know if we did this call today, so I don't know if we're going to do one tomorrow. We'll see. But yeah, as always, man, thank you guys for tapping in, and we'll see you all in the next live.
Much love, everybody.